In order to pass the $82 billion financial aid package, the House of Commons will sit for a day with a limited number of MPs. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the opposition has been collaborating to give these measures quick approval and help the country get through this crisis.
Together, we can protect Canadians, save jobs, and set the groundwork for our economy to rebound.
Trudeau says this is only the first phase of financial response and more aid is on the way. The government is also working with airlines to line up dozens of flights to try and help bring Canadians home from countries around the world that are going into lockdown. The Prime Minister also stressing the need for people here to stay at home and practice social distancing as pictures are shared on social media of crowded playgrounds, parks, and beaches in BC.
Individual Canadians behaving responsibly will help themselves, help their neighbors, and mostly protect our healthcare workers.
The government's still not ruling out using emergency measures to limit the movements of Canadians if this type of behavior continues. Meanwhile, on the health front, Dr. Howard New, Deputy Chief Public Health Officer, says the feds are looking at new testing equipment that can provide quicker results for COVID-19.
In a matter of hours instead of a day or so.
They're hoping to buy those test kits as soon as possible. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Canadians who have been stuck in Morocco have now arrived in Montreal aboard an Air Canada commercial flight. Roger Ward of the Canadian Press has the details.
444 of them arrived last night. Foreign Affairs Minister François-Philippe Champagne also tweeted last night that he had been speaking with counterparts in Australia, Brazil, Germany, Morocco, Peru, Turkey, and Britain. They're all talking about how to safely repatriate citizens abroad. From the Canadian Press, I'm Roger Ward.
The first deaths from COVID-19 have been confirmed in both Toronto and York region. 680's Michelle Mackey joins us now with the latest from health officials. Toronto's first death is a man in his 70s who recently traveled to the United Kingdom. Upon return, Toronto Public Health says he was tested at a hospital in Toronto and immediately began self-isolation at home. On March 14th, he visited Trillium Health Partners Mississauga Hospital for follow-up care and died Saturday. And York Region's Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Kareem Kurji, says a 72-year-old Markham woman marks the region's first death from COVID-19.
She came back yesterday from Los Angeles via France in Tahiti and apparently collapsed at her son's home in Toronto.
The news comes as an outbreak is declared at the Markhaven home for seniors in Markham, meaning anyone with symptoms at the facility is assumed to be a positive case of COVID-19. I'm Michelle Mackey. And now the latest case numbers for the COVID-19 outbreak throughout the nation. In Ontario, there are 48 new cases diagnosed throughout the province today, as well as 2 deaths in the GTA. This makes a total of 424. Quebec has 181 confirmed cases and 4 deaths. Prince Edward Island has their confirmed case today as well. And in Alberta, there are 226 confirmed cases and just 1 death. Throughout the entire nation, we're now sitting at just over 1,400 cases. And a hospital in Kitchener is now responding after claims by a major nursing union that several of its members were exposed to the virus. 680's Asher Roth has more on that.
More than 50 nurses at St. Mary's General Hospital have been exposed to the coronavirus. This according to the president of the Ontario Nurses Association, Vicky McKenna, who says the nurses were exposed while caring for an ER patient who apparently was screened for the flu, but not for COVID-19. To make matters worse, she says the nurses had no access to fitted N95 masks when they cared for that patient, adding the hospital strongly discourages their use. The hospital has since responded, saying the ONA's claims aren't entirely accurate. In a statement, St. Mary's President Lee Fairclough insists the hospital has strong infection prevention and control policies that align with provincial standards. That statement, however, did not deny that the nurses had been exposed. Fairclough also confirmed the Ministry of Labour visited the hospital over a week ago after a complaint was filed, that the facility was deemed satisfactory and that she's taking the matter very seriously. I'm Asher Roth.
And -1 degree in downtown Toronto. Good evening. From the 680 News Broadcast Center, I'm Ethan Tababa, and here are the top stories this hour. Toronto health officials are now reporting the first COVID-19 death in the city, a man in his 70s who recently traveled to the UK. And Parliament will be reconvening with a limited number of MPs on Tuesday to pass an emergency financial aid package to help during the pandemic. And the Ford government is now keeping select childcare centers open to support working frontline staff. 680 News Time, 6:15. Now at 680 Sports and Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Rob Wong.
CBC Sports reports that the International Olympic Committee has given themselves until mid-April to decide if they will go forth with the Olympic Games in Tokyo this summer. The IOC has been under pressure from many international sports organizations and athletes to postpone the games. As of right now, no Blue Jays player has tested positive for COVID-19. That from team president Mark Shapiro, who spoke with reporters today via conference call. Shapiro added that because of immigration complications, 3 players remain at camp in Dunedin: Shun Yamaguchi, Hyunjin Ryu, and Rafael Dolis. Looks like the NFL draft will go on. It just won't be in Las Vegas. According to the Los Angeles Times, the league has decided not to go to Sin City because of the coronavirus outbreak. The draft is scheduled to begin April 23rd.
Clock is down. Serge gives it to Kyle. Step back.
The COVID-19 pandemic, it's up to parents to ensure the kids keep learning at home. Here's 6 80's Catherine Chate with some tips. Although some parents are going to throw themselves into homeschooling mode and flood your Instagram feed with color-coded schedules and charts, that's not going to be realistic for everyone. History teacher Nicholas Ferroni tells the Today Show it's good to have a schedule, but be flexible.
Don't make them wake up at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock again. Let them sleep in at the same time. Try to create some sort of structure where, again, if you're working at home, while you're working, have your child do their work.
4th grade teacher Michelle Ferre says the school closure is a good time to focus on things besides academics.
Just give them time to be creative. So often we don't get enough time to do that in school.
Ferre says even household chores like cooking can offer opportunities for teaching math and literacy. Catherine Jette, 680 News.
Still to come on 680 News, the latest COVID-19 case numbers from Italy. 680 News Time, 6:13.
651 people died today in Italy, most in the north of the country, bringing the total number of people who have died from COVID-19 to 5,500. The epidemic has overwhelmed the healthcare system in the north and left 18 doctors dead from the virus. The total number of cases today rose to more than 59,000. That's a 10% increase from yesterday in infections. But, says Italy's Civil Protection Agency, it's also the lowest rise in percentage terms since the contagion came to light here a month ago. Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
The International Olympics Committee is giving themselves 1 month to decide how to handle the Tokyo Olympics. IOC President Thomas Bach says amid the pandemic, human lives take precedence over everything. This is the first time the IOC is considering other options, but they also say that they won't be canceling the games. As of right now, the Tokyo Olympics are scheduled to begin on July 23rd. And in the States, President Donald Trump issuing a disaster declaration for the state of Washington earlier today. In doing so, he ordered federal assistance to combat COVID-19 throughout the state. 94 people have died from COVID-19, and there are nearly 1,800 confirmed cases in the Pacific Northwest state. Governor Jay Inslee named retired Navy Vice Admiral Raquel C. Bono as the state's director for COVID-19 health system response management. And this weekend's box office news is there isn't any. Did you trust us last night?
The drama Human Capital is the only major film that opened this weekend, but it's anyone's guess how it performed. Industry box office tracker ComScore has suspended reporting during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and even had it continued, theater closures and audience limits are pummeling the box office bottom line. And studios continue to delay or cancel releases as a result. As of now, nearly 28,000 screens are closed in the U.S. alone, with thousands of workers laid off. Christopher Watson, ABC News.
More than 3,000 people back to Canada free of charge. The airline says the best way to see if a friend or family member can get on a flight is to check the status of planes online and head to the airport. I'm Cam Torres.
The first case of COVID-19 in a U.S. senator has now been confirmed. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul announced via Twitter that he's tested positive for the novel coronavirus.